because we start planning this episode, and then like we start talking about some shit, and that becomes the backbone.
Oh, do you want cookies?
Sure.
I've been craving cookies all weekend.
Fuck, sure.
Okay, great. I'm gonna put some in the oven.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. Like, do you have some ready, or?
Yeah, they're like the frozen Hershey's ones. Bitch,
Oh,
I don't have
shit.
time to make cookies.
Yeah, that's
scratch.
what I was about to be like. Jesus Christ, Tamara.
No.
I have to go home and code again more.
No, I am a good housewife.
All right.
But I'm not
Jesus
that
Christ.
good.
Just immediately cookies. Fucking bang. Jesus Christ, can you imagine if that was a, like...
You walk in the door and then there's just a sea of cookies in your house. They've taken over your life. Your wife is now cookies.
Your wife is now cookies.
They own you.
I was more thinking, like, because I feel like housewives are these incredibly talented people that I wonder if they're, like, when they become housewives, they get kind of indoctrinated into the society of housewives and get trained in housewifery.
Yeah, there's a secret cult.
Okay.
And the biggest
you
thing...
would know.
Well, I've heard from my mother, clearly.
Oh, okay.
The biggest thing is that you must always carry Kleenex, and
Okay.
you need to have a purse that is like a bottomless pit for shit.
Like, everywhere on you, there must be
There
Kleenex.
always has to be Kleenex.
Like shuriken on a ninja.
I swear, I will be in the weirdest fucking location with my mother, and I'll be like, man, I wish I had some Kleenex, and she'll just produce some. She's like, here, have some. And then it'll always be followed with, Tamara, why don't you carry Kleenex?
She's starting to give you hints that you're supposed to be starting your training.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. This is where your training begins.
Yeah, this is how we will turn you into the ultimate housewife who can just snap her fingers and have food for guests appear and like wave her fingers a little bit and clean a room.
Hello and welcome to our podcast. There's your
What this show? I was thinking that wasn't a cold opening. That was like
That was a
0
monologue.
Kelvin opening.
That was a monologue.
That wasn't a monologue. We were both talking.
A joint.
It was
A
a
joint.
joint. You mean a dialogue?
I was just being an asshole, but yeah.
Who the fuck am I recording this?
I'm gonna go make some cookies.
Do it. We'll put the pause, and that'll just be the time for the fucking intro song or something, or I'll cut this out. I don't know. Let's do the shit.
Do a log.
Oh my god.
No, that's a shirt for merch.
Anyway, let's get on to our first topic of the day, which, surprisingly enough, is neither cookies nor crumbling under the pressure of fame and social expectations. Yeah. We're going to talk about... What are we going to talk about?
Parties!
Parties! That's the thing. I have a good memory.
We've literally just talked about this,
yes.
too. So, for those of you who don't know, surprisingly enough, Adam and I have friends outside of each other.
Who'da thunk it?
So much so that sometimes we get invited to and or throw parties.
Which means that we have more than or equal to one friend to go to those parties with.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. There's like 3 people that I really talk to.
So there's, cool. Yeah. I mean, I just stated that as something that people might find surprising. But yeah, no, so we are sometimes party goers, and we wanted to talk for a little bit about party etiquette because it's a gray area.
It definitely differs. I mean, like, the party we both went to on Saturday started at 6 o'clock. Which, I did a poll of myself and my roommates, the Stevens, if you remember. Daddy Steven said that, I don't know how else the listeners
he's not abandoning the mantle. That's fine.
So Daddy Steven thought that 6 p.m. was a great time to start drinking. Then again, he frequently comes home and just pulls out his decanter of scotch and just pours himself a nice, neat one. But he also works like a full-time job in a matter of 3 days. So, that would drive any sane person to drink early. But 6 p.m. to me is so fucking early. Like, I showed up at 9, and that's even pretty early, considering, like, the standard time of most start parties in university is, like, 8 or 9 o'clock, and you usually show up, if you're cool, you show up an hour after the start time.
Yeah. That's what I had gathered in first year when I was, because, going into first year, I was a high school kid who didn't really go out to parties much, and so what I was accustomed to was going to events and showing up like at most fashionably late, 15 minutes late, if not 15 minutes early. So that was the way that I had approached university parties. And so the first time I was invited to a university party and somebody said, yeah, just, we'll start drinking at 8 and everything. And I'm like, all right. And I was supposed to go with a group of people from our dorm. And when I was all showered and dressed up and ready to go at 7:30, lo and fucking behold, everyone else was still in their bed doing like whatever shit, or just fucking around. Like somebody was making food in the kitchen, and I was just like, guys, we need to be there in preferably like 15 minutes. And everybody was just like, are you out of your minds?
Yeah. No, I mean, I have thrown university parties, and in high school I wouldn't have called them parties. They were gatherings without alcohol, where we ran around my backyard and took pictures with our digital cameras. I was a really cool kid.
Old times.
But in university, like whenever I throw a party, I usually start it at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and 3 people will show up really early, and it's the same 3 people every time, because they're the people who hate large crowds of people, so they come before the crowds come.
Right.
But the party usually hits its peak around, like, if I start at 8, by 10:30 it's hit its peak. Even more so, we have a mutual friend who throws kick-ass, ginormous parties because she knows so many people, and she's such a wonderful human that she opens her entire house up to people, literally every floor. Her parties usually start at 9 o'clock, they hit their peak at 11:30 midnight, and they go until 6 a.m. That's a party. Mine have never done that. We usually kick people out at 3 a.m. because I'm tired, and sleep is fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, a 6 o'clock party was shocking.
Yeah.
To the point where I messaged not only Adam, but the host and a few other people being like, so 6 o'clock, that really a thing? And the responses I got were either, I'm driving in, so I'm getting there whenever I get there, and that person got there at 7:40ish, with the only few other people who were driving in. The host said, yeah, we're drinking already. It was at 6 o'clock. And everyone else was like, yeah, I'm going at 8 o'clock, or 7:30. My roommate left at 8. I was supposed to leave at 8:30, but I run 30 minutes late consistently, so I got there at 9.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I had gotten used to the idea that that essentially, if you're at university parties, like you show up about an hour or so late or later than somebody tells you to, because that's kind of when stuff is starting to happen. You can pre with whoever you want. For the kids who don't know, which I feel like this is kind of targeted at, preing is pre-drinking. You go to somebody else's house and or somewhere else and just drink before going to somebody else's party.
Or you get ready together. I've had pre-parties where we just get ready. I have to say, I got ready alone for this party. That sounds so sad. I was on the phone with my boyfriend the entire time. Poor guy had to listen to me yelling at eyeshadow. But it was really fun. You just get a bunch of girls or guys over and y'all get ready together. And some people will start drinking as you're doing your makeup. I prefer to wait until my makeup's done.
Like the guys who are sitting there watching all the women get ready and being like, yeah, so fireball, fireball, fireball.
Yeah. We, at my birthday this year, my legit official birthday party, there were 10 of us all getting ready in a hotel room that we had rented. And it ended up being that I think I did every girl's makeup in some way, shape, or form. I didn't do everyone's their entirety of their makeup, but a section of it. And the poor men y'all just stood there, started dancing and drinking, and it was great because we had the jams going.
Oh yeah.
I sound like such a fucking loser saying that, but
it was
man,
the jams
was
going. Whatever, man. It was that was fun. But anyways, back to the topic of party etiquette. I guess we open this one up to. I mean, we open most of this up to the viewers, so maybe I will restate that at the end. But yeah, 6 o'clock parties, I mean, I'm down to drink whenever. I grew up in a household that would start drinking basically with their morning coffee. My parents put fucking Carolans and a lot of it into their coffee. It's just, you know,
He's a wonderful human being.
it works as creamer and sugar. I can tell you from her firsthand experience, it's a great way to drink coffee, and you are buzzed by the time you get to lunch. So it's a good way to live life.
Mimosas and what else is a typical brunch drink? I mean, like, I've done that. I've tried the day drinking exactly twice. Neither occasion was on St. Patty's, mind you. And man, I felt like shit for the rest of the day. Like, I hit a peak. I was like, man, I'm 2 mimosas in. Life's great. I just ate some brunch. And then afterwards, I'm like, I feel like crap. And normally I can handle my alcohol, but it was something about drinking before noon and then eating, like, an omelet. It was just like, oh, no. And I wasn't drunk. I was buzzed at best, but oh, God, I felt like shit.
No, I don't really get shit. I get joking shit for that, for being, like, advocating for day drinking, because to me it makes really no difference. Like, it's, well, okay, I'm Polish. Alcohol is alcohol, and any time is alcohol time. So
I am like half, a quarter. Yeah, I'm a quarter.
Which, I mean, well, if were it not for any of,
well, like,
probably the fact that you're just a lightweight little white girl, then maybe you would be able to handle as much alcohol as I am. Also, I have quite a bit of, like, weight to distribute it through, but
I just, like, the nice thing for me is at parties is I don't drink much. I'll drink maybe 2 cups of something, but, like, I nurse my drinks over a series of hours. So if that's, I'm, like, happily buzzed hanging out with friends, because it's a personal thing, I don't drink anymore, or drink much anymore. But I like me some wine. So I'm that bitch at the party carrying a bottle of wine and a cup, because you can't drink straight from the bottle, because that would be weird.
Jesus Christ, you are so 30.
I really am. I really like wine. Like, somebody brought hard liquor that, like, I do enjoy. Like, if I go out to a bar and they can make this drink, I'll order it. Consequently, it's actually named the Porn Star. Throwback to our Pamela Anderson conversation.
Which I'm not even sure, yeah.
Support us on Patreon if you want to hear unreleased footage.
Well.
Or don't. Please don't. We don't have that set up yet.
Anyway. But, yeah, so
they brought hard liquor, and I had some without, like, it's blue curacao, sourpuss, and Sprite if you want to make it a drink, but you can also make it a shot. And so I drank just the liquor part, and man, I miss my wine. Like, I like it, but I like the Sprite in there because I really water down my drinks, because it's just also a tasting. Those are, like, you get sour and then you get just blue.
Yeah. The taste of alcohol, unfortunately, is just, it is what it is, right? I
like my wine, though. It's bubbly and white and
probably dry and not very alcoholic tasting.
It's $17, man.
Okay, cool.
You get what you pay for. Speaking of parties, you know what else is a party? Talking about things that influenced you growing up.
Absolutely. That is the best kind of party.
That's a great transition.
Yeah,
there you go.
No,
You're
totally.
Welcome.
Making my job easier, one shitty transition at a time. Thank you, Tamara. So yeah, the other thing that we would like to talk about on this podcast, going blasting straight into our next little segment, is just media that influenced us as a child, which is pretty open-ended, which sounds like this is going to be a long-winded conversation, which it is.
Yeah, it'll be good. I saw the creators of Do by Friday, another wonderful, wonderful podcast, have this conversation on their own episode.
Please like, subscribe if you like Do by Friday.
Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe if you like Do by Friday and are part of Cox's Cucks.
Okay,
that's the thing for the show. Anyways, so they had a conversation about their favorite albums and or bands of all time, and I was like, yo, let's do that. That sounds like a great episode, because I really enjoyed listening to it. And it was just a long-ass conversation, but that's what podcasts are.
Essentially. So yeah, we just wanted to talk about some albums / media, TV shows, movies, whatever, I guess books maybe, if we ever shut up about the first 3 things that I mentioned.
We're uncultured. Books come later.
Books come later. I mean, well, that's just the difference of generation. My fucking, like, people from the older generation, aka my parents, will always go on about the shit that they read in books, right? And they were just like, oh man, well, when I was younger, I was reading all these books, and I loved this book, and I loved the shit out of it, and the characters, and sure, that can make you sort of feel like, oh, well, what I remember from my childhood is primarily TV shows, and that can make you feel a little bit, like, stupider compared to the old generation, but, like, the thing that you always have to remember with stuff like that, or any generation shitting on the next generation, is that Socrates once commented on the fact that the youth of of the next generation, when he was around, was shit.
I mean, also, let's be real, our generation doesn't do musicals, so we have that going for us.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I read a lot as a child. Like, don't get me wrong, I did.
Yeah.
But books are a whole other conversation in the sense that I have a lot of book favorites. Probably more so than TV shows and movies. So.
Yeah. So, Tamara, what would you say is one or top five? Top five? You were saying top five albums that that formed or were formative to you when you were younger.
Thank you for doing this while I was in the middle of eating a cookie.
Do you have to mention it? That makes the whole lead up pointless. Trying to mask the fact that you're stuffing your face full of cookie.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd go first. Alright. This is good. I guess, as a scholar of music, but actually, I would probably define my music taste. Let's do it in 5 categories of my life. I guess, in a way. It'll make sense when I speak it. It'll make sense when I explain it. Because, of course, you put me right on the spot. I guess, my early music taste was anything and everything my parents listened to, which has led to, I don't even know how to explain it, an unadulterated love for what people would consider trashy pop bands of the 70s, namely ABBA and the Bee Gees. I love them so much. Also, Billy Joel, but he's not trash. Elton John, Chicago. My dad loves them so much. Oh, and the Doobie Brothers. And growing up, my bathroom and my dad's office share a wall, and my dad will listen to music whenever he's in his office. So I grew up listening to all of his favorite oldies. So it was that, coupled with the fact that I have a really good memory for numbers, and I'm also a little piece of shit. So as a child, when I was about 6 years old, I was watching TV, and I saw an advertisement for this CD collection called Am Gold, Best Hits of the 60s through to 1974. So being the little shit that I was like, man, this looks awesome. I know my mom's credit card number off by heart. Let's order it.
Oh my god.
So I ordered it, and of course they had to call my mom in for authorization because I knew all the information. I knew my billing address, I knew the phone number. And my mom thought it was too cute. She couldn't say no. So a couple weeks later, these box sets of CDs arrive at our house, and I grew up listening to them. They had everything from early Sonny and Cher, Dusty Springfield, Marvin Gaye, Aquarius, everything. And that's what I grew up listening to. So much so that I really it was that in musicals. So I guess first album / phase would probably be those compilation CDs, because I'm a cheater and those include a bunch of my favorites. But yeah, so early 70s, late 60s music and trashy 70s pop bands and musicals. Love me some musicals. Thanks, Mom and Dad. And then I guess I got my own music taste. So that's 2 out of 5. I got my own music taste when I turned 11, and I started in my first carpool to go to middle school, because the guy who I carpooled with did not speak to me.
Okay.
He wouldn't speak to anybody. He was polite, he'd say hello and goodbye, but nothing during the ride. And the ride to school was about 45 minutes. So,
gotcha.
It was painful at best. So little Tamara would carry a Walkman with her with a bunch of these Am Gold CDs and the best of the Bee Gees that my dad had burned a copy for me of. And my parents felt bad that this tiny 11-year-old girl was bringing 10 CDs to school every day. They were also worried the CDs would get broken. So they bought me an iPod, and I discovered iTunes. And over the course of middle school, I discovered the top 20 pop sensations, whatever. I was the most popular kid in gym class for a year because I had all of the top music that kept being released each week because I had an iPod. That was my prime. All went down from there.
From there on in, Tamara's social life and career just plummeted.
I mean, you hit peak popularity in 8th grade gym class. Like, you can't go much higher, man.
Nope.
I got asked to prom by 5 people.
Damn. All for those tunes.
In grade 8. I was mainly friends with most of them. Like, none of them were romantic in any way. But, that's my claim to fame. So, yeah, those are the first 2. I also want to have an honorable mention that I totally forgot about until this second. But after that, I guess. So, yeah, the top 20s. I guess something from that era that I don't hate right now, but I still do love, would be something along the lines of, like, the Jonas Brothers or Hannah Montana or High School Musical, because I was, like, on the cusp of being really into those things. Like, really into those things. Like, not so much so that I was obsessed with the Jonas Brother. I didn't have a favorite. But, like, I watched all of Camp Rock. I watched every episode of Hannah Montana. I loved Wizards of Like, I was that Disney bitch. Love me some DCOMs, even now.
Amazing.
So much so that one of my best friends bought me a Disney Monopoly for my birthday. Because she knew those were my favorite shows.
Incredible.
So yeah, that's I guess the third genre. And then I discovered after that the indie and alternative section on iTunes. And from there I went into my still occurring hipster douchebag music phase.
Edgy.
Not edgy, but just like, what's your favorite band? Oh, you probably never heard of them sort of stuff. Like, ask me who my favorite band is and I'll tell you.
Who is your favorite band?
So currently my favorites are Peter, Bjorn, and John, the Zolas. Again, you've probably never heard of them.
I see what you're saying here.
So I'm that bitch. The 88, love them. They're wonderful. So yeah, that phase is still occurring. So like, it started off with like Two Door Cinema Club and Foster the People and like Tokyo Police Club. Love them all still to this day. And Lorde, I really liked Lorde. Still do. And then it kind of divulged into like even weirder stuff of like bands that, like, I went through my iTunes the other day and I found some old playlists and like, damn, the songs were good. I had like pretty good music taste. Like Free Energy was a really big band I loved. Temples. I really got into Neutral Milk Hotel, but like that's more well known. Yeah, it was that like still douchey hipster phase. But yeah, and then I kind of moved away from pop music and still kind of think it's mainly trashy stuff with people who can't really sing or write for shit, and it will never be as good as the oldies. But there's some history there. And then I guess the last arc, I hope this makes sense to people listening. In my mind it makes sort of sense. The last like sub-classification genre was in second year, I was introduced to the transformative genre of emo pop punk music. I didn't have an emo phase when it was cool to have an emo phase. I think I had like one Fall Out Boy song that hit the top charts on my iPod, and one Linkin Park song. I had New Divide on my iPod, and I thought I was so fucking cool, even though I listened to the Pussycat Dolls a lot.
Just like one after the other imagine that on your Spotify playlist. Just the Pussycat Dolls and frickin' Meteora or some shit.
No, it was I remember because I found the playlist. It was Buttons, then I Don't Care by Fall Out Boy, and then New Divide, and then a Sarah Bareilles song.
Jesus.
I didn't know what mixing was. I didn't know like how to make a playlist. It was just a hot fucking mess. But yeah, so I discovered that in second year because we played a lot of Rock Band, and I can't play guitar that well anymore because I went through a phase of my life essentially where I just created a repetitive strain injury, and now I have carpal tunnel in both hands. In part from Rock Band and in part from OSU, and just I have shitty nerves. So yeah, discovered that, and then I had my emo phase when I was, 18, 19 years old. And now I go to emo nights at the bar and I know every song. And the party we went to this weekend was an emo party, and I wore my My Chemical Romance shirt that I bought last year for Christmas. I'm trash. But I'm self-aware of it. Like, yeah, I don't claim to be, like, the OG edgy kid. Like, I love My Chemical Romance. I wrote I did an entire school project in one of my music classes about how good the album Welcome to the Black Parade was. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. You did. But like again, I don't claim to be the OG edgy kid. I never had an edgy phase. I had a pop phase. So yeah. Also, fun honorable mentions. Weird, shitty meme music that I ended up loving. The Shrek soundtrack. Listened to that so fucking much in my childhood. I love it. Oh
god. Yep. Everybody knows that shit off by heart.
It was such a good soundtrack. Like I unabashedly love that. Mm-hmm. Also, I have grown to really love trashy music, like Careless Whispers on my phone, and I listen to it a lot. Play it often. What else? What else is really... I have a playlist of, like, trashy music I love on YouTube, and most of it is Gabe the Dog. Nah. But there's some actual music in there.
I love the shit out of you. I think you have a playlist of just, like, almost all the Gabe the Dog.
Yeah, that's my shitty music playlist for parties. If anyone ever lets me DJ, I put that on. But not, like, DJ seriously.
In order to teach them never to do so again. But not seriously.
I have an actual party playlist with, like, the best of, like, pop, punk, bands you've never heard of, alternative stuff, and, like, some well-known bands. So think, like, you know, throw in, like, Teenagers, the new Killers album, Wonderful, Wonderful, like, specifically, like, Run for Cover, and then, like, The Virgins, or, like, Yukon Blonde. So, like, again, it's a good playlist, I've been told. I went to a party where I didn't know anybody in Montreal, and I DJ'd. Because I didn't know anyone, and I knew the host, so they're like, yeah, take the aux cord, whatever. And people came up to me like, I made friends that night because of my music taste. They were like, this is the best party mix ever. It literally caters to every music taste, except for EDM and rap. And I'm like...
Hey.
But yeah, no, so I guess that's my musical journey, so to speak. How about you, Adam? Or do you want to comment on stuff? I don't know.
I mean, well, I can't...
It's a discussion.
It's a discussion. Jesus Christ, you told me not to speak with my mouth full. Jesus. Anyway, I mean, there's not really much that I imagine that I could say about that other than, I mean, I respect your taste in music, just because, again, I know that that's something that you actually study and put effort into knowing good music from bad music. I don't know, you went through your formative phase, and actually it bears quite a few similarities to mine, because when I was growing up, I had the same thing happen to me with my early taste in music, which was essentially the fact that my parents have a lot of CDs. My parents really have a lot of CDs with good old music.
Mine too.
Didn't explore it at all. They just listen. I think I can narrow it down to 4 albums that my parents would listen to almost nonstop when I was younger, and that was the Gypsy Kings album, I believe one of their first, if not their first, the Boney M collection. And,
I fucking love Boney M.
And and then the soundtrack or concert track, or I don't know what do you call like the CD for a concert? Just a concert CD?
The live recording.
The live recording of a kid named Michael Jr. His concert Dreamland. Have you heard of this? No? Okay. So the kid is essentially... This kid is part of the reason that I feel like I will never amount to anything in my life, because this little blonde kid who looked pretty similar to me, I would say, essentially Michael Jr. is just a 12-year-old opera singer who speaks multiple languages. I believe at Dreamland he actively used 5, and fuck. He had his recording, like, he did the live concert with another opera singer, and raked in, I would imagine, a sizable sum of money, and went on to continue to have a career in opera singing. And, you know, and this is what my parents would listen to, and I'd be like, well, shit.
What's his name? I want to look
Michael Jr. Michael Jr. But,
oh
yeah.
Oh my god, he's 31 now,
yeah.
And he's Belgian. Oh, look at him with this little hat!
Yeah, but yeah, so that is a part of what my parents would listen to. I can't remember what the fourth album was going to be. But, so really we can narrow it down to 3. So that was my entire music taste. ABBA. ABBA was the other one.
Oh,
That's it. ABBA Gold.
Oh, I was going to say which one?
4 CDs
Ooh.
is all I listened to when I was younger.
Okay.
And that formed everything that I knew about music because I didn't get a Walkman and I didn't get an iPod until I was in like almost high school, I think.
But Adam, this is the most important question of the entire podcast.
Which is?
What are your top 3 ABBA songs? I'm gonna judge you so hard right now.
Shut your fuck. I would say.
It's a hard question.
I would have to put it in no particular order. I'm not sure if it's called this, but Money, Money, Money.
Yeah, that's what it's called. They were direct with their titles.
Gimme, 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 A Man After Midnight,
yep.
and
it's a bop.
And SOS, actually.
It's a strong one.
So a lot of this might be influenced heavily by Mamma Mia, but you know, I just really like
chorus numbers.
Though Gimme, Gimme, A Man After Midnight didn't actually, I think, show up in the theatrical release. Oh, was it?
It was. Okay. It was when Sophie's trying to figure out which dad she has, and the mothers are like dancing around because they're all really like they're all very, very, very in the mood.
I see.
And there's many a glorious Greek men on the island. ABBA has a special place in my heart. I was in a production of not Mamma Mia. You'll never hear me talk about this again. It was a stage play of something with ABBA songs, and yeah, it was a good time. I had a blonde wig and go-go boots and a little disco outfit that was sparkly, and I looked like a little tartlet. And I was 16. No, I was 17.
Boy.
No, I was 16. Good times. Good times. I should never dye my hair blonde. I look dead.
But anyway, so from that, what are your top 3s? Top 3 ABBAs?
Ooh, okay. Voulez-Vous.
Okay.
That's another spicy disco number. Waterloo. Either Dancing Queen or Mamma Mia. I love both of them. Or SOS. I really like the entire Mamma Mia soundtrack, but
to be fair, yeah, I like most of. Oh, I forgot to honorable mention to Does Your Mother Know That You're Out?
Oh, that's a good one.
Great one.
That was one of the parody songs I was a part of. That and Voulez-Vous. It was great.
When you were 16, Voulez-Vous?
Yep.
That's a sexually charged song
we
for a little girl.
We changed the lyrics to something else, and it wasn't just me. There was another 16-year-old and a 15-year-old with me.
Oh, that's weird.
I have a video of that play, and no one will ever see it. I think it's on YouTube, part of it, too. It's weird. It's a
you say this is how you ask for an embarrassing video to go viral.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I don't dish it if I can't take it.
Fair enough.
Support us on Patreon if you want to see it.
So if you want to see a YouTube link to the full, uncensored, and uncut version of Tamara apparently looking like a tartlet.
Singing ABBA.
Singing
but not
ABBA. But non-sexually charged ABBA.
Yeah, no, it wasn't sexual. At least in my mind, it wasn't. Probably was a little bit. I was wearing a real short skirt.
Anyway, so that's kind of the first chapter of the story.
You want to pick 4 per chapter? I think you spoke really generally. No, keep going.
I mean, my other chapters are extremely short because otherwise, again, so for the longest time I was stuck listening to those because, again, I didn't really get an iPod until high school, and I didn't use money to buy stuff off iTunes. So
did you use LimeWire?
Also not really.
No, you were a good kid.
Well, I wasn't
Stealing is piracy?
You know what? I admit absolutely nothing. All I'm going to say is that I didn't use LimeWire to download music.
Jesus Christ, Adam.
I don't know. I never considered, I guess when I was younger, listening to music as a hobby, possibly because the majority of the early formative years of my life was spent listening to the same shit over and over again. So.
But did you not go on road trips? Like, this is like the early part of my own musical existence was heavily influenced by road trips. Like, we'd hop in the car, we'd play the Shrek soundtrack, my mom would fall asleep, and then when she'd wake up, we'd pop on the AM Gold stuff. And then the Bee Gees.
I think there was in our car. Actually, this is another thing. There was a Cher CD and a Shania Twain CD, and that's it.
Bless.
So
Bless.
that is the other part. But in any case, so the point is, I grew up listening to a whole lot of old music, and when I got to high school, I made friends, and one of those friends, yeah, incredible, isn't it? And one of those friends, kind of, I don't remember how we got to this, but I believe I mentioned something like, "Oh, I haven't really listened much to Linkin Park," and he was just like, "What?
Wow, Adam.
What do you do listen?
You're such a fucking prep.
Yeah, what do you listen to?" And I was just like, "I don't know, oldies and shit." And he's like, "You mean you've never listened to 3 Days Grace?" I'm like, "I don't even know what the hell a 3 Days Grace is."
Animal I've become?
Yeah. No, I didn't listen to that until high school when my friend downloaded. No, he had the files already on his computer, so he just put them on a USB stick and was just like, "Listen to all of this by fucking Monday. I don't care what the hell you have assigned. I will beat the living shit out of you if you do not listen to this by Monday." I'm like, "All right." And that's how I became interested in, 3 Days Grace, Rise Against.
The edgy boys.
Yeah, the edgy boys and stuff. And then beyond that, I just listen to shitty music or video game OSTs. And that's it.
Shout out to Pink Season.
Sometimes, and shout out to Pink Season. And sometimes the occasional aria. I recently found Conte Partiro by Andrea Bocelli, and I was just like, amazing. And just, it was great. I love listening. I love that song. It's so beautiful. So beautiful.
I'm not gonna lie, my shower playlist includes my favorite tracks from the Nutcracker. I listen to Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies in the shower. My shower playlist also includes...
That's a pretty lit song.
Oh, it's fucking great.
I can just imagine, like, in the shower, just, like, like, as you're just, conducting personal hygiene and making every movement very flowy and ballet.
Oh, yeah. No, I have, I'll pull up my shower playlist. It's a fucking journey. I feel like it encapsulates the weird side, except I don't have
Also,
any
shout out to
there.
Journey, because I didn't listen to them growing up, but hey.
My mom, okay, when Glee...
They're a thing now.
When Glee came out, this kind of is in the next topic, but when Glee came out, holy shit, my mom and I, my mom more so, eventually, like in the long scene, became obsessed with Glee. Like, we went to the fucking Glee concerts.
Are you kidding me?
And got floor seats.
Whereas I was part of a crowd that was just like, Glee is the stupidest thing ever.
It was a stupid thing, but damn, they could sing, and my mother's favorite song to this day is Don't Stop Believing by Journey. So whenever I'm in the car with her and she knows I have
the
Spotify...
Glee version?
No, she likes the Glee version.
Okay.
She has every Glee CD still in her car. But the shower playlist starts off with some My Chemical Romance, moves into Asian Jake Paul, bunch of Zolas, Peter, Bjorn, and John, some Virgins, some Cage the Elephant, some Saint Motel, Cobra Starship, Portugal the Man.
The specific Cobra Starship. Oh no, Guilty Pleasure, whatever.
And
that
The City is at War. Guilty Pleasure is my favorite Cobra Starship song. I had a neon emo phase. I didn't have an emo phase, but I had a neon emo phase, mid pop phase. I loved These Kids Wear Crowns. Loved Cobra Starship. I loved Down with Webster. I loved Metro Station because it was Miley Cyrus's older brother, and I thought that was so cool. I still love them. Then there's some Sum 41, All American Rejects, Borns, Yellow Card, then Waltz of the Snowflakes, Sugar Plum Fairy, Candy Cane, Marzipan, Waltz of the Flowers, the Sugar Plum Fairy, Pas de Deux, and then more Cage the Elephant.
Great. Awesome.
It's very diverse.
Yeah. I mean, it's a trip. And that sounds like you couldn't get through it in one shower, unless, of course, I'm just mistaken.
No, the only thing is like, I love Asian Jake Paul, and I know every word to it, but, like, it's a little jarring when you're jamming out to Marzipan, and then Asian Jake Paul comes on, and you're like, I just want more Nutcracker. Like, it's so peaceful and wonderful.
Yeah, I feel that. That's why I sometimes don't like putting my phone on shuffle, because, like, I'll get on the one hand, fucking Savior by Rise Against, and then directly after that, like some video game music or some meme music, and then Conte Partiro.
Yep.
Or fucking Il Mondo or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can tell that I like Italian singers.
He has no type.
Like, I don't know, man. Something about Italian singing is just really cool. What I haven't listened to is Pavarotti. That I should download and drop on a playlist.
My mom liked Italian opera singers. Who were the boys who
three tenors?
The three tenors. Yeah.
The boys. The three singy Italian boys. What the fuck do you mean, the boys? They were the three tenors. They were world-renowned musicians, artists. Can you call that a musician, or would that just be a vocal artist or something?
A vocalist.
Vocalist.
Singers.
3 world-renowned vocalists.
My mom likes
that. You're just like, oh, the boys.
I just know that they sang really pretty, and my mom listened to them when she used to do dishes. And my cleaning lady would stop and sing along to it with my mom. And they'd just be singing the 3 Italian boys in suits.
The 3 Italian boys in suits. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. That's how we're gonna refer to them.
The 3 Italian boys with a Z.
Yeah, oh yeah. Can you
Z.
imagine if fucking, like, the 3 tenors, like, I wish them well, I wish that they never ever stopped existing and never died. But imagine if they all did die at the exact same, Pavarotti, I don't know. Anyway, if they reincarnated as, like, around the same age teenagers, or when they became teenagers, they found each other again, but now, rap and hip-hop is a big thing, so they just become...
They'd be musically stars.
They'd be musically stars, and they'd have absolutely beautiful voices, but they would use it on hip-hop and rap.
They'd be contemporaries of Shawn Mendes.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, I have to say, throughout this whole music discussion, I feel bad for my partner, because, poor guy, nothing against him. He loves pop music. So much. Bubbles is his shit. Yeah. Anything top 40s, he loves. We'll get into an Uber, he knows all the words. The one thing we have in common is Michael Bublé, because my dad loved Michael Bublé too. And the next time he comes to concert, I'm gonna buy tickets for my dad and my boyfriend, and they're gonna have a great fucking time with all the middle-aged 40-year-old women.
My mom went through a Michael Bublé phase, and
Everyone
I was just
had
like,
a Michael
of course.
Bublé phase. No.
Well, everybody's mom had a Michael Bublé phase.
Did you not have one too?
At the same time as my mother did, but at the same time also not.
I mean, come on, everything? Hollywood? Ooh, his version of Save the Last Dance for Me.
And, his version? That's not his song?
No! Oh my god, it's an old Drifters song.
Oh, okay.
From the 50s.
Alright. No, I admit that he has good music, but, like, there was a point where my mother would dance almost exclusively to Michael Bublé, and this is where Michael Bublé was on the radio very often, and my mother would just have the radio on when she's cooking.
In the good old days.
Yeah, exactly.
Shania Twain, Michael Bublé.
Yeah, son. And she would just be dancing in the kitchen, and I would just be like, okay.
That's gonna
you are again, just literally every other
suburban white mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously she doesn't care. She's just like, it's Michael Bublé.
Your mom likes Boney M. I have no beef with her.
Yeah.
That's a great... We went to karaoke on New Year's Eve, and everyone was like, oh, haha, Rasputin. Yeah, everybody knows that song, haha. And I'm like, great, I love this song. It's awesome. They're like, oh, yeah, we're all gonna sing it. No one knew the words except for me. So I awkwardly sang the entire song myself.
Are you kidding me? Nerds.
I know, and I knew the dance to it from Just Dance, so I was just awkwardly like flailing.
I would have so.
It was the most awkward thing because I'm like, should I stop? And they're like, no, keep going.
I would have so sang and possibly not done the dance because I'm not a dancer. But I so would have sang that song with you because I know every word to that song because guess what? It was on the Boney M collection.
Oh, of course. That and the Rivers of Babylon were iconic.
That was so off key. Anyway.
But yeah, no, that was definitely... Oh yeah, so my boyfriend, he loves pop music. We took a course together and it was like a 4th year special topics in pop music with this really kick-ass professor. And poor guy, for a majority of the class, we'd shit on pop music and talk about how stupid and bad pop music was today. Even going as far as listening to 10 seconds of Taylor Swift before the class started booing. And there were only like 15 kids in the class. And Vince felt personally victimized. So he's like, I like 22. So, poor guy. But no, when we first started, like, getting serious, the playlists are still on Spotify. I made him 2 playlists, because he had Spotify before me. I think it's one of them, it's like, things your girlfriend thinks you would like on Spotify, and then your girlfriend stole your Spotify. And it was, like, every half-decent indie alternative song I had come across up to that point. And, like, that's how he learned a bunch of my favorite songs. And he was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I see the light, whatever. And now I drag him to indie concerts. But, yeah, he loves pop music. He loves it so much. He's a little pop meister. That's not a phrase. Meister.
No, not really. But hey, we've created words. At this point, we're about at the same level as Shakespeare.
Cool.
Really, yeah.
The bar.
Yeah, we are.
Ballad.
The
bard.
road.
Wow.
The road. Because that was a word he invented as well, apparently.
Yeah, I meant to say the bard.
No, I know, the baird. But no, I'm not actually comparing us to Shakespeare. I'm very sorry. I actually don't want to offend his memory. It was way too good of a... Way too much of a treasure.
Old Billy.
Old Billy. No.
Anyways, what was the next stage in your life post?
That's
How did that Linkin Park CD change you? Did you suddenly grow side bangs? Have your nails painted black? Started saying "rar XD" means I love you in Dinosaur?
Every single one of those made me... Well, the last one specifically made me want to throw up fucking rocks.
You didn't read My Immortal?
So, Jesus Christ. Second of all, again, you forget that A, I was pretty sheltered, and B, I tried to grow my hair out for cancer, like, to donate, because they had this thing, like, where people grow their hair out really, really long. Yeah, Locks for Love. And there was somebody at my school, in high school, who did it. And it was really cool, and I saw it, and I was really, really inspired, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. Like, I had cancer when I was younger and stuff, and I would love to...
Why is that in there?
What? Well, whatever. But yeah, no, I would like to support kids who have lost their hair for that reason, because it kind of sucks. Do you want to know the only people who peer pressured me, or not peer pressured me, but pressured me into getting a haircut because they said I looked like a fag? My parents.
Oh.
So...
I still love you. My mom.
So... It's just like, I wouldn't have gotten away with that. I would have, if I had dyed a strand of hair on my head black, or if I had put a single bit of makeup or eyeliner on myself, I would have been disowned. So there was no leeway for me to have an edgy phase. I just listened to metal and I was like, yeah, no, this is pretty alright.
Yeah, I didn't actually know anyone who had a full-on emo phase at my school, because, it was private school. My one friend dyed his hair blue at one point. That was about as edgy as it got. But yeah, no one really had an edgy phase. We were just like, a couple of my friends and I were just really into pretentious hipster music, and we all had Tumblr and would message each other on Tumblr. Oh, and we had Twitter, and we'd like tweet at each other in class and have email chains because we were fucking cool kids. Real cool. Yeah. So that was about it. But yeah, no. I don't know. You want to move on to traditional forms of media?
You mean TV and
yes.
movies?
The movies.
I mean, I watched a lot of SpongeBob when I was a kid, and I feel like that sort of accounts for my nonsensical sense of humor. Simply because that show is nonsense. When you go back and look at it, and try to watch it, you're just like, what? it's or at least I've had that moment that I've gone back and watched some of the episodes of SpongeBob that I was nostalgic about, and I was just like, what is going on? Literally none of this makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was my big TV show. It was just that and Teletoon.
That and Teletoon? Where it was saying, okay, that's your first one. Any movies? Notable honorable mentions for the movies?
Tweety's High Flying Adventure, I think, was the most formative. I'm pretty sure I've seen that movie like 40 times. You know what I do? Apparently, this is just a thing I would do as a kid, is I'd find something that I liked, and I'd watch the living shit out of it. I have apparently seen Snow White. Like, I wanted to. The first movie I ever got was Snow White, and all I wanted to do when I was a kid was watch it every single night, and I would do so apparently for like a year. So my parents got pretty fucking tired of Snow White, and the same thing with like Teletubbies. My father had a recording of Teletubbies on like a VHS that I would watch when I was at his house. Again, multiple times. I think I remember watching, there was like a Winnie the Pooh movie, Halloween movie.
Oh, yeah, that one was really fucking weird.
That I just watched the living shit out of, and Tweety's High Flying Adventure.
Yeah.
So yeah. What about you?
So I grew up watching weird stuff, I guess. I watched 2.5 Men from a really young age.
Oh. When did 2.5 Men start airing?
A long time ago.
Really?
Not like that long, but like I remember watching 2.5 Men and not getting half the jokes. And then watching it as I grew up, and I was like, why did I watch this when I was so young? Yeah, so...
I mean, you have that shit with a lot of TV shows that, or well, not TV, well, sometimes TV shows, but also...
It started airing in 2003.
Oh, wow.
So I was 8 years old.
Yeah,
7 or 8.
So that's a problem.
Yeah. But growing up, I had my obvious Disney phase. Loved Little Mermaid. Fucking obsessed with, like, my room is a tribute to Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid and Harry Potter as I grew.
True. Actually, can't confirm.
Yeah, I had a huge Disney phase. Loved all Disney movies. Again, led into my love of the Family Channel, or the Disney Channel, when I would go to the States. Fuck, the Disney Channel was so great in the States. In Canada, we got ripped off. But we also had, like, weird shows, like Life with Derek.
Yeah.
Which were good. Oh, and Degrassi. Shoot, Degrassi, I was watching Degrassi with my mom from about the age of 6. And I hit peak Degrassi love when I was 14 to 16, and oh god, once season 12 ended, I just was like, ugh. Oh no, season 12? Season 11. When season 11 ended, I was like, oh, all my favorites are gone. Eli's a recurring character. Nope. My mom still watches it. She watches Degrassi Next Class. I'm like, I'll watch it if it's on with her. But it's so fucking cringy because they try to be relevant. And they're like, we have Facestir instead of Facebook because they didn't buy the rights. But yeah, no, I loved Degrassi. And like, in the earlier days, it produced a lot of good talent, most notably Drake. Jake Epstein, who is Craig, is on Broadway now. He played a guy who like played guitar and struggled with mental illness. What else? There were like a lot of really big people who started on there. So yeah, Degrassi, huge part of my childhood. And then like Hannah Montana again, and all of the DCOMs. I loved it so much. Was really into that whole Disney thing.
Yeah, to be fair, actually, I also went through quite a bit of Disney DCOMs and stuff. Like Wizards of Waverly Place was my shit.
Good. I loved Selena Gomez in that.
Yeah.
And the theme song, and she sang it, and she also did a cover of Magic.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
I feel like quite a few other young boys at the time had like a mini crush on Selena Gomez.
She was so cute.
Yeah.
Her and when Demi Lovato had front bangs, I was in my prime because for once I had a star who I could look up to who also had front bangs. That's so stupid, but like I remember being like 12 and being like, man, I look like Demi Lovato. Look at me. Yeah.
Lucky for you, you don't have the gigantic set of chompers that look more or less like a white bear trap.
I don't look like Poot either.
I like Poot. Freaking Poot Lovato. I love that meme so much.
Free Poot.
I love how it blew up so much just because of somebody taking this is just what I love about virality as a thing. Just the shit that goes viral. Like you take a picture of somebody from an angle that is like just not a little bit not flattering, and suddenly this is a existing person. They are living, breathing, they have a soul, and they have been sitting in her basement.
They have a Wikipedia page.
They have a Wikipedia page, and their name is Poot Lovato. Especially since it's real fun to say. It's like, Poot.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Poot Lovato, my God.
Yeah.
She's never gonna live that down, is she?
No.
No.
No. What else? Oh, I got really into indie movies as well. 500 Days of Summer is still one of my favorite movies, and Harry Potter. Harry Potter took over my fucking life.
So you have told me. What with your shrine and your obsession with My Immortal?
Okay, I don't have an obsession with My Immortal. I sat through 18 chapters of it being read aloud, and then my friend kicked us out of his house. We all took turns doing a dramatic reading. That was painful but funny. I did it for the lulz. But I never read My Immortal when it was like a real thing. Please, I got Tumblr when I was like 15. Like I wasn't that fucking cool. But yeah, no, Harry Potter was my shit. Was really good at Harry Potter trivia. Would buy books that weren't Harry Potter books, but were about stuff that happened in the books. It was like a whole weird conspiracy theory thing.
Fan theories and shit.
And then I watched a lot of Vlogbrothers. They were the reason I wanted to go on YouTube. That's not movies, but like whatever. Yeah, so like indie movies like 500 Days of Summer. Oh, and I had a Jay Baruchel phase. That was a weird year. I was just
Jay Baruchel.
Do you remember seeing the movie? She's out of your league or something like that. Like
yeah.
And he was the dorky guy.
I think I know. Yeah. Did he go on to voice the guy from How to Train Your Dragon? Yeah,
Jay Baruchel.
That guy.
He was in Fanboys, which is a fantastic movie.
I think he was also in Knocked Up, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah. He was also in This Is the End. I believe Pineapple Express, possibly. I'm Reed Fish. I really. He was also Canadian, and he was half Jewish.
Was or is?
But he is Canadian. He's not dead.
Well,
and he's fucking great. I had a hardcore Jay Baruchel phase. Also, Josh Hutcherson, but like Josh Hutcherson pre-Hunger Games. Like I'm talking like Bridge to Terabithia was my favorite. I loved Anna Sophia Robb. I loved Josh Hutcherson. Bridge to Terabithia, the book and the movie were my favorites. And Because of Winn-Dixie, that was also Anna Sophia Robb. And Little Manhattan, that was the movie. That was my favorite childhood rom-com. It is the most pure movie. Like, it's Josh Hutcherson as like a baby. Not a baby, but he's like 12.
Small.
And
small.
Oh my god, it's so pure. They like hold hands and they kiss once, and it's like a nightmare. It's so cute. It's so cute. Watch it.
I mean, maybe.
It's so cute, and the soundtrack is so good. That was the other thing. I got really into movie soundtracks, and it's kind of a funny story because I read the book, and I love Ned Vizzini. Loved Ned Vizzini. And yeah, I got really into like that whole indie movie thing, and I still like watching indie movies and whatnot now. Like, I watch trailers on YouTube for unreleased stuff. Oh, and New Girl. New Girl was, that was Zooey Deschanel as Summer was, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
And
he too was in that movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
He primarily was in that movie. That movie was more about Joseph Gordon-Levitt than it was about Summer, really.
Yeah.
But
it also
I wanted to shout out very quickly before I fucking forget another very important formative thing, which is probably primarily the reason that I'm a weeb now. Fucking Martin Mystery and every cartoon made by the people who made Martin Mystery. A+ shit.
Yeah.
A+ shit was so weird, but A+.
I didn't get into cartoons until really into cartoons. Oh no, I liked American Dragon Jake Long.
Oh yeah,
and Kim Possible.
Cool. You and every other girl who grew up in that general time frame.
She was a strong female.
Yeah.
Also, making a rap song.
Yeah,
still stuck in my head.
Enough.
But until like I liked those growing up, but until like Bob's Burgers first came out, I wasn't super into like adult cartoons or like cartoons in general. And then Bob's Burgers and fucking Gravity Falls changed that.
And your fucking Gravity Falls.
Still not into anime though. Definitely like I don't watch anime. I don't particularly enjoy it. People have tried. I don't like the art styles. I don't.
It's whatever.
It's a thing. It's a personal aesthetic choice. I can appreciate it that all of my friends and boyfriend are weeaboos, but
I mean, we say that about ourselves, but you can't say that about us.
I was an exec of Flash Club, dude.
Yeah,
I know more about
specialized in Harry Potter primarily.
Hey man,
Potter.
I know way more about Madoka Magica than I care to explain because I have one friend who exclusively talks to me about Madoka Magica. I don't think I've told him before, but I don't think he knows how
But
much
you
I
don't
don't
care?
watch anime. I care because he's my friend, but it's like, dude, I don't care. Oh, and Ruby. Fuck, I've heard so much about Ruby. And I've sat through 2 seasons of it. A season of it?
Really?
Yeah. My boyfriend made me watch Ruby.
I actually sometimes watch anime and I haven't sat through that much of Ruby.
It was okay. Like, it didn't grab me like sitcoms do. Love me some sitcoms. Did you ever watch old-timey, like, reruns of TV shows? This, like, I totally spaced on this part of my childhood until now. But did you ever watch, like, old-timey TV shows? Like, Who's the Boss or, like, Cheers when they do reruns on TV?
No, you know what? I kind of missed all of that, and that's possibly unfortunate because I would have probably enjoyed those even growing up, but I just really knew how to work the TV for 3 channels, and that was YTV, Teletoon, and Disney Channel. Yeah. And that was it. And I didn't really know what else was anywhere else because I was just like, holy shit, there's like 200 of these channels. I don't know what the fuck to do with all this shit. There's too much information. Like, as soon as I got out of my 3 channels, I was just like, there's too many possibilities. My tiny mind can't handle it. There's too many choices.
I was gonna say, I literally blanked on this. I didn't come prepared. I'm sorry. I used to love watching reruns of Saved by the Bell. Loved that show. The Nanny, Fran Drescher, is my idol. Which makes a lot of sense if you know me. And you know the show.
Yep.
She's my fucking idol. I loved that show. I still watch it to this day. Like, on my own, we'll go out and find it on the internet. And Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World and 8 Simple Rules. Those were, like, a couple other ones that were, like, I'd watch outside of the Disney Channel. So, again, like, adult-ish themes, but not really. But, yeah, I loved Saved by the Bell and The Nanny. I loved them. And, I watched a lot of Frasier as well. Weirdly enough, my parents love Frasier. A bit of Seinfeld, and I watched so much Will and Grace. Every Saturday morning. It's like the Deborah Messing.
I mean, that would explain why you know who Deborah Messing is.
Yeah, oh my god, I'm so excited for the Will and Grace reboot, but I'm still weirded out when I see Deborah Messing.
So weird.
But yeah, no, every Saturday morning I would watch the W Network with my mom. And it would be 2 hours of Will and Grace, and then there'd be a W Network Lifetime movie. So I'd watch that, and we'd watch until 3 o'clock. I was a healthy child. But yeah, so I watched that. Oh, and HGTV. Been watching HGTV since I was a wee lass, and I love home and garden shows so much. So much.
God.
Didn't you have like that one channel that was like weird to watch? That was like really too mature for you? I mean, like Will and Grace and Frasier were kind of lost on Tiny Tamara, but I liked Karen. She was fun.
Every so often, I guess I would change the channel and I'd catch something that had live actors in it that wasn't a DCOM. But I don't know. When I was immature, I was immature, and I still am pretty immature, and I still enjoy that kind of thing. But yeah, no, that's primarily what I watched, was just like stuff oriented towards kids. So that was just them chillins. That was a short discourse, a brief history of our nostalgic bullshit.
Mainly
mainly DCOMs in our formative years, and a lot of punk and emo stuff, and really, really old people music.
Yeah.
Though not really, really old people, because I know really, really old people music, and that shit that's beyond us.
I used to do folk dancing, and my grandfather's really into like old folk music, so we'd like Polish-esque folk dancing. So that's really old people music.
Yeah.
Polkas, man.
All them polkas. Shit from back in World War One. We'd listen to the polka. Anyway, so we're still. So.
Jesus Christ! My grandparents really listened to that time.
I don't know.
Their radios got taken away.
Unfortunately, yeah, I can get a lot of it out.
You should totally vamp us out with a really bad mashup of some High School Musical, ABBA, and MCR.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
Done.
Like the background music for one, the vocals for one, and like the harmonies for another. Drop mix
Oh shit! You might have to show me how to do that.
I don't know
I'm
how
not
to
sure
do
how to
that.
set. Okay, well then fuck you. It's just gonna be a clusterfuck.
Yay!
All right, so yeah, thank you very much for listening to us talk about this. Please feel free to comment about your about what your formative kind of media was. We'd love to hear about it because I mean I don't know, like I know a lot of people are just like, oh, you know, I want to see your comments, but I legitimately like would love to get into a discussion about this with somebody on the internet randomly, because I feel like there's not enough just discussion about cool shit on the internet. I feel like there's way too much flame wars, hatred, and arguments. So put a little love on the internet. Talk about your favorite TV shows growing up.
Tweet at us at our podcast sucks with an X, and also like us on Facebook. And support us on Patreon.
Yeah.
Please don't.
At some point, maybe.
Maybe in the future.
Probably not now. It'd be a waste of your money. But yeah, continue to watch us on YouTube. Again, follow us on Twitter to see what's coming up. Give us a like on Facebook. Give us a comment on Facebook. Again, I'm happy to have this discussion anywhere. If you have shit posts, shit post them. We don't really give a shit.
Oh, and if you like me, subscribe. Follow me on the YouTubes. Wow, I sound
That
really...
was so good. Tamara Aaron YouTube, either on Facebook or YouTube.
I sound better in my own videos. Yeah,
just, you know, when you're focused and actually trying to create structured content.
Yeah, this is just shooting the shit. I like to think there is, like, the one side of my personality that is, you know, somewhat presentable and not trash, and then there's the trash side.
And then there's trash.
That you bring out.
Thank you. I'm glad that I am the catalyst of trash.
The trashalist.
Oh, God. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us on this. We hope you have a great day, evening, afternoon, whatever the fuck you're doing right now. I don't give a fuck. Thanks for listening. We will see you in the next episode. Cue the chaos.